What's going down? Basically, we're back to channel Thor's Thoughts is the show. I am back. It's been a little hiatus. I've been off for a little while. I've been unwell, travel, holidays. You know how it goes. But we're back because we got to celebrate the top 10 Batmans from McFarlane Toys in 2023. Now, this may arguably been the best year to be a Batman McFarlane Toys collector. We got, and let's before we break into the top 10, let's go by the numbers because it's kind of astounding how many Batmans McFarlane Toys put out this year. Now, total figures, I'm not covering that. I'm just saying just Batmans. There were 46 Batmans released in 2023. Personally, I got 18. If you got all 46, bless you. That's a lot. There's a lot of hubbub about Jokerized. There were only 4 Jokerized. 4 of the 46, so under 1%. 3 were sketch outline Batmans. The rest were all variations of different Batmans. We got 13 live action movie adaptation versions of Batmans. We got 2 Clooneys, 3 Bales, because you got the Jokerized Bale, and then you got the cloth cape and the other one. You got 4 Michael Keaton Batmans this year. 4 unmasked Flash movie, masked Flash movie, gold label 89 version, 6-pack 89 version. That's a Kilmer. I mean, what more do you want? I mean, what more do you want? That is just a ton of Batman. So it was really hard. I mean, honestly, we got some of the best comic book adaptations of all time. Some of the most beloved comic book versions came out this year finally. So it was tough to break it down. But I had to do my personal top 10. I did pick all figures I own. No, except for one. My number 10. Bat Santa. Now, Bat Santa is a rewash of the Frost King Endless Winter version. But, I mean, it's Batman. It's Santa. It was a page puncher. I like the blue version. I didn't get him. The red version's still available on McFarlane Toys website. Last time I checked, it is a McFarlane Toys exclusive. That's my number 10. Great figure. I can't say too much about it because I don't have it, but I had to put him on there because it's Bat Santa. I mean, it's Bat Santa. So then going up the list, number 9, right here, one of the unopened figures, and actually, we're going to give this figure away. I'm going to pick a random person in the comments. So everybody puts comments in. I'm going to wait a couple weeks. I'm going to throw all the names into a randomizer. I'm going to pick one random name. And then you're going to win Armored Batman from Kingdom Come. It's going to be my 2023 thank you giveaway. So if you love the Kingdom Come comic, it is an awesome, like I said, some of the most iconic comic book iterations came out this year. And this was one of them. It's not my preferred Batman version. That's why I never got into it. It was part of I bought 6 figures. So I think actually both these Batmans were part of that figure. The Blue Lantern Kyle Rainier, Jay Garrick, the Signal. Actually, did I open any of the figures from that pack? But whatever. So I got that pack. This was in that. It's a great Batman. It's my number 9 for the year of 46. But if I know someone who would love it a little bit more than me, so throw your comments down below. I'm gonna pick one random person, and you'll win Armored Batman, my number 9 McFarlane Toys Batman of 2023. Moving on, number 8. So we finally, now I mixed in, I will say, 40% of this list. So 4 of the 10 are movie figures, and 3 of the 10, 30% are from the 6-pack. So I want fairness and conversation. But our first, and he may have been higher, and I'll get into this, why he wasn't. It's Val Kilmer. It's Batman Forever. I had to think about that for a minute. But it's the Val Kilmer Batman Forever, the blue Batman from the 6-pack. That was another dope thing about this year. We finally got 2 Batmobiles. We got a bat signal. We got a lot of bat accessories. But this Val Kilmer Batman, He would have been higher on my list had they dyed the cape the same color as his armor. His armor is this beautiful metallic blue. If they would just dip that cape in just a bluish hue instead of that black, and just throwing the same black cape they threw on every one of them, this could have been I don't know about way higher up on the list, but higher up on the list. And it's a beloved figure of mine. I actually hold Batman Forever in a very high affinity. I hold Batman Forever much higher above Batman and Robin with Clooney. That movie's boot. Like, let's be honest, it's boot. But Batman Forever has some redeeming qualities. You know, Carrie as the Joker, not Two-Face, but it has some redeeming qualities. I mean, what more can I say? Dye the cape. He should have been higher. All right. So, another figure from the 6-pack, number 7, Christian Bale, The Dark Knight. Now we had, like I said, we had 4 versions of this figure this year. No, 3. We had the Jokerized Build-A-Figure version, the regular Build-A-Figure version, and then the 6-pack version. So we had three of these. I think the 6-pack version's the best one with the cloth cape. I'm always going to pick cloth cape over the rubber cape one, even though he didn't have the accessories that the rubber cape one did. It's kind of but cloth cape version of Bale. It's a great representation. The padding, the belt, the armor. It's iconic. Like I said, 13 different live action movie figures, and this was a upper echelon of that 13. One of my favorite Batmans of all time. He's really high up there. I mean, and The Dark Knight is arguably my favorite Batman movie still to this day. Now, moving on. My number 6 Batman. George Clooney, Batman and Robin. He's very happy to just be here, obviously. The cloth version cape. There's 2 versions of this figure this year. You got the Build-A-Figure version with the Mr. Freeze Build-A-Figure, and then you got the 6-pack movie figure. I picked the 6-pack movie figure, again, cloth cape, and I haven't actually got the other version yet. Don't know that I'm going to buy the Build-A-Figure. Another story. I will say things that knock the Clooney are same things that knocked him in the movie, and the things that they actually focused on when they were doing some of the promo for this figure is like the bat nipples and just I don't know. It's a great representation of that figure. I love Bale and I love Kilmer's portrayal of Batman far above Clooney's. This figure is fun. Like the way they have the bat, I mean, there's just bat symbols everywhere. Even like bat symbols that hold his cape on, the bat symbol in the middle, the bat symbol on the belt, the bat symbol on the boots. Like there's just, it's bat symbols on bat symbols on bat symbols. All black. It's a good look. I thought Clooney's armor had a little bit more variation in color, but I mean they nailed it except for Kilmer's cape with these movie figures this year. I mean 13 of them is a lot, and they did a pretty good job. So number 6, George Clooney, Batman and Robin. Number 5, Gladiator Batman is from Dark Knight's Metal. Another one that I didn't open this year, and like, if you didn't open this figure, how can you put it at your number 5 Batman of 2023 from McFarlane Toys? I'll tell you why. Because you look at this sculpt, you get this thing in hand, you look at the detail in the belt, you look at the detail on just every aspect of this figure. I mean, from the little gargoyle heads on the shoulder pads to the bat wing shoulders, or no, they're bats, they're bat heads. His shoulder pads are bat heads with bat wings covering the shoulder. It's magnificent. This is like a magnificent figure. I am taking him out because I do have the Joker dragon. So he's flying in, riding the dragon in the comic books. It's a great page. And this dude, it's on the back of the box. It's right here. That him riding in. And I have the dragon. And I want to literally suspend the dragon from the ceiling and have him riding it. But I kind of want to open them both, do a double review. It's kind of one of those things that's like in the works for me, which is another reason I didn't open him. But I didn't need to put him at number 5. Like one look at this dude and I was like, yeah. I kind of forgot he was a 2023 release. When I was looking at the list of figures from the 2023, I was surprised him and these two were both on it because I got them so long ago. Like last winter, early last winter when I bought that 6-pack. And all these figures I got after it, and they all came out of the box, but these two somehow managed to evade me getting that. But the Gladiator Batman is definitely top five Batmans of 2023 from McFarlane Toys. So now, getting into the top 4. Now we got our last of the movie versions of Batman. My childhood Batman, mostly. My mid-childhood Batman. My early childhood Batman's Wes, but he's not part of this. It's the Keaton. Now, there was 4 Keatons. I said that earlier. There are 4 Michael Keatons. There are 2 Flash movies and 2 Flash movies and then 2 89s. This is the gold label that comes with the matte Batmobile version of the Michael Keaton Batman from 1989. And I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't have any greening like the 6-pack version does. The ears aren't rounded like the Flash movie. And honestly, I don't mind the maskless version or the unmasked version of the Flash one. I think that's a better Batman than other people think it is. You can watch my review from earlier in the year to see all my thoughts on it. It didn't make the list, but this version I think was the perfect version. I don't know if it should have taken us 4 versions to get there, and you could still make a complaint that the cowl should be connected. Like it is in the movie version, right? Where the whole cowl is one piece, where the head moves independently like some of the other cowls. Now, this one, they did go gold on the symbol. They went gold on the belt. It's all gold. There's no green. I mean, it's perfect, right? The boots are perfect. To me, this is the perfect representation of the 1989 Michael Keaton portrayal of Batman, which was, like I said, my childhood. I was like 8 years old at the time when that came out. That was my Batman for a really long time. Him and then Kevin Conroy, because they kind of merged, like those two run into one in my brain because they had the movie and then the cartoon came out. And even though the cartoon's more like 50s-ish, where the movie's definitely more like, not future-ish, but like of the times, they still are connected, and those two were my real childhood Batmans for sure. So there you go. That's top 4. Did some of my nostalgia bring that into it? Maybe you could make an argument on some of the other Batmans possibly jumping ahead of Keaton, but for me, Keaton number 4. So top 3. We're out of live action Batmans. There's none left in the list. It's all comic book iterations for the top 3. And I think everybody knows kind of who the top 3 are going to be. But in what order? That's the question. Coming in at number 3. It's an original version, technically. It's an Elseworld. Page Punchers. That's a dead giveaway. It's Caveman Batman. This was real hard. I really had him at 1 for a couple times. I was like, he's my number 1. He was my favorite. Just playing with him, like the sculpt, the posability, just everything about him. The leather looking cape is perfect. This is a perfect Batman in my opinion. Could he have been a hair taller? Maybe they could have expanded that torso just a little bit, especially you get him next to like Hush Batman. He could just be a skosh. But he's beefy. He's really filled out. He hits shoulder day hard. Hits it every day. He's a great Batman. I mean, the stitching on the mask. I can go on and on about this Batman. The way they use bone throughout, and just the amount of sculpting to this figure. The way the fur actually looks like fur on the top of the cape, below the cowl. Fantastic. I've been waiting for snow. I live in Minnesota. No snow. It's almost January. It's December, I won't say, but it's late December. And I've been waiting for snow because I want to take him out for a snow photo shoot, get him out. You know, he's fighting the Frozen. I could take him out in the snow and do some really cool stuff, but I got no snow. So, I mean, not that I want snow, because I'm not saying that, but whatever. I digress. Moving on. My number 2. And this is tough. This is really tough because these are probably the 2 most beloved comic book versions that they have put out yet. You have Hush, you have Nightfall. And I will, before I say which one got number 2, which one got number 1, and why, I did run a poll on who is your favorite Batman in the DC Multiverse Facebook group, It's a group of like 20-some thousand like rabid fans of just the DC Multiverse. They post a ton of pictures. They're really cool. Go follow them. Join the group if you want. But I ran to poll them. I got 51 comments back, and the way it broke down was there was 1 vote for Bale. There were 4 votes for Clooney, 3 votes for Kilmer, 5 votes for Keaton. So very similar, like my list, like very similar, which running the tally on this had no bearing. I'd already written my list down before I tallied up the comments, and I did a pretty good job of not paying attention after I posted that to not sway me at all. Caveman Batman came in with 7 votes of the 51, and then splitting the votes for the DC Multiverse Facebook group, we had 15 votes for Hush. Now that was across like all the versions, right? I took all the versions of Hush. I didn't take Vampire and those, but black and blue. If anyone said like the 2-pack Hush, the black Hush, or this Hush, I included that in that 15. Because the other one, Nightfall, got 16 votes. Now, there are 2 versions of Nightfall. So, I mean, there are what? At least 5 or 6 versions of the Hush body type. There's the Vampire. There's Batman Two-Face. There's 3 versions of Hush. That's 5 alone. So I know there's the version that came with the Bat Raptor, the re-release. That's 6 versions of this body buck this year. So it's probably the most used body buck. I will say the Nightfall version, there's 2. There's this one and the San Diego Comic-Con. My number 2 figure, Batman 2023 McFarlane Toys, is Hush Batman. Now, Hush Batman might be one of my favorite storylines in Batman, but this figure, it's almost perfect. It is almost perfect. But the ankles are a little weak, and the balance is just a little bit off. Like it's just it falls a little bit more than any other Batman I have. It just the posability is off, and it's due to the weight of the cape on the back, which you need because, I mean, the Hush Batman's got that big flowing cape. So I totally understand why it needs to be as full as it is. And they've used this body buck, like I said, so many times this year. It's a great buck. And it's my number 2 because my number 1 then is the Nightfall Batman. Nightfall Batman, and I'm with the DC Multiverse group. I'm probably with you. I mean, you know, you gotta let me know where all your Batmans. Give me your top 10 in the comments. But Nightfall for me, number 1, super iconic storyline. That the Nightfall San Diego Comic-Con version is probably the number 1. This version is probably like 1A. That's probably 1-1 because that's the way they painted the dark on it and stuff. That. Then you got the Bane. You got the Nightfall Catwoman that came out at I think that was this year. You got Nightfall Nightwing coming. Like the Nightfall figures have really filled out, and this Batman is perfect. It's balanced perfectly. It's just the gray and blue reminds me of just like the 80s gray and blue Batman, which is when that Nightfall storyline is from. This is the best Batman they put out this year. The belt, the costume, the symbol is just iconic. It's just that perfect yellow and black symbol on the chest. Like I said, the cape is long, flowing without being too heavy. He's athletic looking without being like super jacked and beefy. He's a little bit older when he's in Hush, and obviously Caveman Batman, you know, as my other top 3. This Batman's just, like I said, he's a little bit more balanced. He came with what? A blue. He came with a couple. Did he come with just? I do not remember what he came with. I know he came with a Batarang, and that might have been it. So extra hands might have been one of those things where necessary, but I wasn't breaking it down really by accessories. I was just breaking it down by like where origin of where they came from, my affinity to them, sculpt, and that sort of stuff. Because most of the Batmans from the 6-pack didn't even have any accessories. They came accessory free. But there you go. There's my top 10 McFarlane Toys Batmans of 2023. Let's run it back. Number 10, Bat Santa. Number 9, Kingdom Come Batman. Number 8, Val Kilmer, Batman Forever. Number 7, Christian Bale, The Dark Knight. Number 6, George Clooney, Batman and Robin. Number 5, Gladiator Batman. Number 4, Michael Keaton, Batman 1989, gold label with the Batmobile. Number 3, Caveman Batman, Batman fighting the Frozen, Barbarian Batman. I've heard him call a lot of things. I call him Caveman Batman. Number 2, Hush, blue-gray for me, but any version, the Hush Batman. And number 1, Nightfall Batman. There you go. That's my top 10. Like I said, give me yours in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Check out merch on the Baseball Banter Spring store. You know what to do. Until the next one. Deuces.